Welcome, and thank you for tuning in with E-Ray Blitz. I got a very special guest for y'all today. Three-time champion of the PLC. I'm pretty sure I told you what the PLC was. If I haven't, make sure you go check out that video. But we have three-time champion here, Mr. Dark Horse himself, Zach Roselle.
Yo, how's it going? How's it going, PLC fan?
And what's going on? So we're going to be talking about some stuff going on about how he came into the PLC, what his thoughts is on competitive and things like that. Stay tuned. We're going to get right to that. All right, so let's get started. So Zach, let's talk to the people about how you came into the PLC. I remember season 2 was your rookie season. You came in with that dark horse mentality, and you were just wrecking shit, man. Let us know a little bit about that.
So I actually got into the PLC. I was always like a longtime friend of Ian. You know, we go way back since I was a teenager. And he knew I always liked playing Pokemon. So when y'all started doing the PLC and everything, you're trying to get me on board. I was going to try and join the first season, but I was kind of taking a little break from competitive at the time. So season 2, that's when we finally got Sun and Moon. And obviously everybody, they start off the generation, they feeling it. So I was like, yeah, let me try my hand out. And the dark horse thing kind of came around. It was so nobody knew me from Eve the Atom, right? Yeah. And of course it's nobody knows me except me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go in there, say, hey, yo, I know nobody knows me, but I'm gonna wreck all y'all. What's up? And that's just kind of how it's been from start.
Yeah, good times, man. And you came in, you made a real big, you stirred up a lot because. I had won the season before, and you came in, and you were just. I remember, I think the first match you played against Mike, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's Reese's brother. Mike's pretty good," and you crushed him. Yeah, and it was just like, "Oh, who is this guy?" And the rest is history, man. But we're gonna get back to the PLC. But right now, I just want to pick your brain about what's your thoughts on the Pokemon franchise. So, from the top, what is your favorite gen out of all the gens that came out so far? And why is it your favorite gen?
It's hard to say because I mean, obviously, all of the gens, there's good stuff, there's bad stuff about all the gens. Yeah. But I gotta say, my favorite gen has to be, I guess, Gen 5 was when I really immersed myself in competitive a lot. We finally got Dream World abilities, and for those that don't know what the Dream World was. That's when we got hidden abilities. Before that, every Pokemon from Ruby and Sapphire onwards only had 2 abilities. So it was if you already had 2 abilities, that was it. For some Pokemon, that was a death sentence, for real. So when the Dream World came out and everything got a new ability that really breathed a lot of life into a lot of old Pokemon, Politoed got Drizzle, big.
Yeah, big. Yeah.
Venusaur got Chlorophyll, and we got what was it? Nidoking got Sheer Force. A lot. The Dream World really breathed a lot of life into a lot of old school Pokemon, and then we also got 150 new Pokemon on top of that. Which for what it's worth, I think that's the most innovative Game Freak has really gotten in a long time. We just got fresh out the gate, 150 brand new mods, and it was really cool to see. But other than that, I would say, besides that, Sun and Moon was also really one of my favorite gens. The music was really good, the characters were really good, well written, and the Pokemon were just fun to play with.
Yeah, I'm sure you know what I'm about to follow out. What is the worst gen in your opinion?
Man, so anybody who knows me knows that I'm a pessimist, So I hate everything equally. But I mean, it's hard to say. Nuzlocking Pokemon makes you really see a lot of faults with the gens,
Mm-hmm.
Gen 2 got that obnoxious level curve. Shit. But I have to say, honestly, my least favorite gen. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate on this because I know a lot of people in the PLC who love this gen, right? I hated Gen 6, yo. X and Y sucks for me, don't get me wrong. It gave us Fairy type, which was awesome. I love Fairy type. But coming out of Gen 5 and getting into competitive where it's like we got all these new mega evolutions, but only 5 of them are any good. So it was like it felt like it killed like it's like you had to play with these like 5 handful of megas that were good. And if you didn't, you were just getting squashed. And it was just like, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. I was just like, I'm not really feeling it anymore. I honestly like that was like it was like a big factor why I took such a long break in competitive for a long time. I just wasn't really feeling the power creep at the time, and that's when I kind of logged out of Pokemon for a little bit. But Sun and Moon brought me back.
That's interesting. I actually I revisited Gen 6 maybe about a few months ago. It's not. I don't think it was. I think it was very.
It was
inviting. If I can say, if I made it matter where
it's
like
a very incomplete gen, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got these gym leaders, and it's like almost every gym leader had like 2 Pokemon each, was whack. Like,
yeah.
Like I mean, like off the top of your head, right? Name 3 gym leaders from X and Y. I bet you can't, because none of them are memorable. Am I wrong?
No, I can't remember. The only one I can really say I remember, and I don't even think I remember her name. I just remember her because she was a key part of the story. The little Cario chick.
Oh yeah. Rollerblade bitch.
Yeah. I can't remember her name. No, you're right. I can't remember none of their names.
I'm telling you, man, they're forgettable as shit.
See, the reason why I like Gen 6 so much is because it made get into competitive a lot easier than previous generations. Like breeding, they made a lot of steps with breeding that made it easier. They had the Friend Safari, you can get hidden abilities and breed them easier than
PSS, which was like
yes, that was a great UI system for multiplayer. And a lot of the mods from Gen 6 were kind of forgettable, but you know, Greninja was there, so Lucha.
That was another thing, yo. That was another thing. We got like no good new mods. We got like 4 or 5 good mods from that gen. Talonflame, Greninja,
Aegislash.
Yeah. That's it.
I gotta look at the Pokedex. Hold up.
And I got hands all over himself, Barnacle or whatever. Yeah.
I gotta look at the Pokedex. There's no way. Hold on.
We got Hawlucha. I love Hawlucha.
Hawlucha was dope. Hawlucha was dope. I love Hawlucha.
I do love Hawlucha.
Let me see. Let's look at Gen 6 right quick. What's cool from Gen 6?
It was a very forgettable gen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. It definitely was forgettable. I mean, we got the Florges. I like Florges. Aromatisse.
Sylveon was like way MVP.
Sylveon was crazy. I mean, they got some decent ones. I wouldn't necessarily say they're they're okay. I mean, you got a lot of the legendaries was broken from Gen 6 for sure. But
Gourgeist not getting what is that ability? What, flame charge? The ability that gives
flash fire.
Yeah, flash fire.
It should have got flash fire. Yeah.
Gourgeist not getting flash fire to power up its flamethrower and give it like the immunity to fire. That would have been sick.
Yeah. That's definitely. But yeah, I get it. I definitely see why you pick Gen 6 language. I mean,
Don't be wrong. Like evolutions, they were cool, right? It was a cool concept. I just feel like I felt like they were implemented really like whack, right? Because it's like only like so many of them were any good, right? Like nobody's playing with, like Mega Houndoom or like like Mega Glalie when you got like Mega Kang and Mega Mawile, like
absolutely, man.
I felt like it was an interesting attempt, but like realistically, like there was only so many of them that were any good.
Yeah, true. I can't argue with that. Yeah. Now moving on, so we recently got Gen 9, so I'm not pretty sure I know some of your answers, but what is your top Gen 9 Pokemon? I've been playing VGC, and this one, I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. Garganacl is probably my favorite.
Dude, I love Garganacl, dude. Garganacl is dope.
You don't understand how many matches I won because they just don't have an answer for it.
The Rock just puts in work, bro. Like Salt Cure is like such a good ability.
Cure, and then like with the Terra, so like I mean, I typically Terra the poison. So I Terra the poison,
Yeah,
Just
I've seen that. I
mhm.
saw that.
I
What was
tear the
that?
poison, and I just run a very passive set. I run Salt Cure, I run Recover, I run
Mhm.
Wide Guard, and I
It's a
run
beast. It's a
Curse.
beast.
So Curse is new. This is a new set I ran. So and then I run their Covert Cloak, so I can't get faked out. And
That's
then
not bad.
other Salt Cures don't work.
Mm.
So mirror, I typically win the mirror matches with other Garganackle. So I
Yeah.
run that set, and it's crazy because like I just don't care. I can just curse in your face,
Yeah.
like,
Sure. Even
and
just
then at a
you know,
point,
eventually this is gonna get too big. Yeah.
yeah, at a point you're just like it's crazy. But yeah, besides Garganackle, man, what else you like from Gen 9?
Man, it's hard to say. Like, I mean, like, I love a lot of Gen 9, but
Yeah.
I mean, obviously everybody know me, man. My boy is Armor Rouge. I love Armor Rouge, man. I mean, like, okay, so like, yeah, it was like, so we saw like it was Fire Psychic type, right? And originally,
Mhm.
like, initially, like, you're like, ew, Fire Psychic, right? But like, I feel like Armor Rouge is finally a Fire Psychic type done right, you know? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you had Del Fox, you had Victini, and they were like, meh. And you know, like, but like, Armor Rouge got like the stats to make that Fire
Mhm.
Psychic actually work. You know,
Yeah.
like it's got like the bulk, it's got like good special attack, and its speed, like it makes it to where it's like it can do whatever it wants to do. You can make it fast, you can make it slow. So
Mhm.
like, I really love what it's got in this kit, and it's just a dope mod. I love the attack animation when it does armor cannon. That shit
Yeah.
looks so fire. It's so clean. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one. I would say what else I like from the gen. Um, I really like Flamigo. I just love it, man. It's such a goofy Pokemon, man. It just comes out there just screaming and shit. I'm just like, I just love it, yo. It's so goofy looking, but I love it.
Yeah, man.
It's a flamingo, but and it murks. It murks.
Yeah, yeah. It got a real interesting ability, man. And
Yeah, it's
on the
got
right
two abilities. You know,
on the
co-star.
right team. Oh yeah, Co-Star is crazy. Like on the right team,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
nah, it's dope. Also like God, I gotta think off the top of my head. There's a lot of really good Pokemon in this gen for real, for real.
Yeah, man. It's a few that I just fell in love with. Like I like Palmont a lot.
Oh,
Like,
Palmont, yeah, Palmont's dope, man.
man, I love Palmont. The ability, I love his attack, and
Just
I love with the mechanic. Like it works with the mechanic because like once you Terra, you can't lose your electric type, and you can just spam.
yeah, the
Like I
double
love
shot.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
And
And then
the cool thing about it is like it can do whatever it wants to do. Like it could put out fake out pressure, which you got to protect against. But if you guess it wrong and then it gets a revival busting for free, you might
yeah,
get bro. It's pretty dope.
it's dope, man. What do
I,
you think? I mean, of course, we know there's a couple things we already know about. You know, we got the mouse hold, we
yeah,
got Go Then Go, we have
wasn't a big believer in Annihilate, but you put Final Gambit on anything with that much HP, it's gonna be nasty.
bro. Annihilate really became something. I didn't expect it to
Because
make an impact.
I wasn't
Yeah,
really believing in it. I felt like it was like too slow, but like it puts in work.
yeah, and they got so much gimmicks built around it that
Yeah,
you can take advantage of. Like it's good. A couple of my favorites, man, like that I've been really using a lot. I've been using Tinkaton. I know a lot of people kind of crap on it because it's attack stat, but
but like it's like with like a base power move that strong, like it doesn't matter. Like you
it
can
don't.
that could be whack, but 160 is 160. Like
Yeah,
you know what I like about Tinkaton's signature attack? It's like it feels like now that we have something like that, right? They could go to like older moves, right? And buff them.
yeah,
So like, think about it like this: like if they go back to Hyper Beam, Giga Impact, Rock Wrecker, and all that shit that has to recharge for a turn, if
hmm
they buff them to work like Tinkaton signature move, where you can't use it again in succession,
yeah.
that'd be fucking sick. And you don't got to recharge. I mean that would change. Can you imagine
Change.
being able to Giga Impact every other turn, bro? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nuts. Or that rock wrecker on the Rhyperior.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be
Yeah,
dope.
that's what.
But it'd be a good change. Like it wouldn't
Yeah,
be busted, but it'd be good.
yeah. It'll definitely change like the value of a lot of things, especially
Oregon
Rhyperior.
Z running a hyper beam would be real scary.
Wow, bro. Or Hyper Beam on Sylveon too. Mm.
It would change a lot, but it'd be sick. I would like it a lot.
Yeah, that's something. I'm definitely welcome to different changes, man. We need some shakeups.
But you know what was good about Gen 9, like comparatively to like other gens, is like it really felt like they were getting a lot more creative with like competitive, like something like Don Dozo Tatsugiri, which like we'd never had anything like that before.
Wow.
And we got like a lot of really cool, interesting things,
Yeah.
It's cool to see, for real. Like a lot of like there's you can look at this list, like every gen, right, has stinkers, like your Ratatas and all that shit, but like this gen like really doesn't have a lot of stinkers, and even the ones that are stinkers do something.
Yeah.
Like everybody talks shit about Spide Ops, which it's not shit, but like its signature attack is to protect that lower speed on contact. And what everybody doesn't understand is that signature moves get spread out in later gens. So when every other bug type gets a protect that drops speed on contact, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
So
that's something to think about.
Don't Spide Ops that much. He's just
Spide Ops is not as bad as people think, man. Spide Ops got plays. He got plays.
He's all right. He can do something, Spide Ops.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like every Pokemon there's gen you can do something with. It might not be the best. I actually really like Dash Bun a lot. Dash Bun's pretty cool.
Dash Bun is fun.
An ability that like it gets +2 defense on any fire move and immunity. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
For body parts too. That's sick.
Yes. He definitely put a lot of pressure on fire teams too, man. So it's a lot
of things I like about this gen. For sure.
Yeah, this gen is fun. But let's switch gears, man. Let's get into these 3 titles you got with the PLC, man.
my quotation mark titles.
3 titles.
I could say. No, I'm kidding.
But no. let's talk about that first one, man. What's your thoughts about that? The very first title you won here.
I mean, just like everything else in life, the first is always going to be the best. It's like I came into season 3. I got to finals against you in season 2, and I got washed. For anybody who wasn't there for that, but I came into season 3 and I'm like, okay, we're playing with Megas now. I never really played with Megas competitively up to that point, so it was new for me. I had to kind of like learn like what were good Megas and stuff, and I kind of went with Mega Manny. I got Megazard at the mid-season, and that was really dope. And I came into like that season like off of an L, and I was having a rough early season too. Like I was taking L's left and right, and towards like the latter half of the season, I made big changes to my team and turned it around. And I kind of like went on like an underdog victory, like streak there. Like I was building myself back up, and I come into the playoffs, and I'm just going at it left and right. And then me and Mike, my considered rival, we bash heads at the end of it for finals, and we go all 3 games. All 3 games are really tight knit, very close rounds, and I ended up securing a W there. But it was definitely a good round. The only thing that was rough about playoffs, obviously, there was a lot of controversy at the end of season 3 for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, season 3 was pretty wild.
Yeah, and you ended up actually tapping out. And but like a lot of people like at the time were like, "Oh, you only won because Reese wasn't there," blah blah this and that. And I was just like, "Nah, man, I would have smoked him."
I mean, your team was really good season 3. Like we all had good things. Mike had a really good team. I had a really good team. You had a really good team, and I was like extra confident that I was not going to be beaten. But like we'll never know, But that's one of those. That's what's great about it, because it's like one of those things like a boxing, 2 boxing greats that never fought, and you're like, who would have won? But
Muhammad
never knows.
Tyson kind of. Yeah.
But that was really good. My team was good. And we'll talk about season 3 on another show. So it was a lot of controversial that year. That it was a lot of things that was happening in the PLC, and I end up bailing on dropping out at the beginning of the playoffs. And we'll talk about that in a different show. But And that's why they put the asterisk on that on his championship for that year. I think he earned it. He earned it fair and square. I mean, we can't really. I didn't play, so I can't say I would have beat him or not because you never really know.
I will say my MVP that season was definitely Mr. Mime. I rocked Mr. Mime so hard that like everybody else only saw like Mr. Mime was like followed me shenanigans. But like, nah, bro, I saw it as like this dude got a fast fake out and encore. He's got so many things in his kit like wide guard and all that shit. I really had a lot of fun playing Mr. Mime. He was like my anti-meta Pokemon.
Man, he put in a lot of work.
I remember what was it? Jordan Herrera, he was really famous, for a long time playing fake out and intimidate strategies. So I brought my Mr. Mime versus him. I set up psychic terrain so that he couldn't fake out.
That was wild. That was good. I remember that.
It fucked his day up. He was just like, yo, this shit is annoying.
Hey guys, do me a favor and go ahead and visit Jada Homie. This is the same Jada Homie that was on here last time. If you've seen that show, Jordan loved his fake out intimidate. He would have like 4 mons that had intimidate, and he would run like 3 additional mons that all had fake out. He would like to run a cycle. That was his style. Like, it was pretty cool. It was funny, but
we had a long running joke that Bruxish was his bane. me and Ian would keep trading. We were like, oh, we're about to play against Jordan. Yo, treat me Bruxish real quick. Treat me Bruxish for a week. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good times.
Yeah.
But but after that first one, you went on to win 2 more titles, man. So tell me about that second one if you can remember.
Yeah. So I went into I went from season 3, right? And I actually did not get another title until season 6. Season 6 was my second title. This is like, when you get into this draft league, right? You kind of come up with like a lot. Like everybody has their like different methods that they like to draft with, right? Some people just pick their favorites. Some people just pick what they feel like are just the best Pokemon to pick, or something in between, right? They just go off some people just don't prep at all. They just go with whatever they're feeling with. And that works. With me, I like really layered a draft strategy that year where like I kind of like analyzed what were like the best Pokemon to me for each individual pick. And I kind of like have like a little cheat sheet that would be like, yeah, I like this for this pick. I like this for that pick, blah, blah, so on and so forth. And to me, I think I was like positioned in the middle. And Incineroar and Rillaboom automatically off the get was like the 2 best Pokemon in the like draft.
Yeah.
Here. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get either of these Pokemon. No way. Somebody's going to pick these Pokemon.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, it's like I'm like 5 or 6, 7 picks later, and not only does both of them get to me, I have to pick between the 2, like which one is the better one. I'm just like, like, and like everybody will tell you, like Incineroar is like one of the best Pokemon in the game.
Yeah,
like fake out, intimidate, parting shot. It's got a lot in its kit.
Yeah.
So like, I knew that it was the correct choice, but Rillaboom was always like something I always wanted to play with, right? Like I went into, it was like the starter that I initially picked when I played that gen, and like, I just like its design a lot. It looks dope. It's a big monkey, big monkey. It looks like Goku. So like, I was like, you know what? I want to pick Rillaboom, right? It's new. It's got Grassy Glide, which is dope. So like, I went with it. I rocked with it, and it definitely carried me a lot of games.
Yeah.
Rillaboom is a beast.
Yeah. And
I ended up getting Sylveon that season 2, which for the infamous Aurora Arc trade. Listen, if I was an alchemist from like Fullmetal Alchemist or something, I am the Aurora Arc alchemist, yo. I turn that shit into gold. Real quick.
So there's this joke, right? Every year, Zach somehow gets Zoroark, right? And every year, he always traded to somebody for something absolutely busted. And I'm like, how do you keep doing this? Every season he gets it. Someone like, oh, I want to use Zoroark. What do you want for? I'll give you my Porygon Z for it. And you're like, what?
like melodic.
Or Sylveon. Someone traded Sylveon for Zora. Like, in what world are we doing that?
And what world? Like, how does everybody just like, yo, what are you doing? I'm just like, bro, like it just happened.
And everybody's salty about it. I mean, you can't blame people for being salty about it. Like,
it's like literally like it's like watching a robbery in broad daylight. Like, what like what the fuck is going on here? But you know what? It's funny too because every time I'm like, yo, I actually kind of want to try out Zoroark. Zoroark's pretty cool, right? And then every time
I mean, look, I'm not trying to dump on Zoroark in any way. It's a good mon. They got a great move pool. It's got a great ability,
unique ability that can come in clutch.
You know, you can really play mind games with it. I like mind games, so it's not terrible. It's not bad.
It's not like
Sylveon. Like, come on, Sylveon.
No.
As far as
like busted.
utility, complete utility between the two. Sylveon, like that is no way you're making that trade. But he gets it.
Yeah, and it's funny though. It's like I'll get the Zoroark, and I'm like, I actually plan on playing with it. I actually want to use it, and then somebody just gives me a busted trade. I'm like, I can't say no to this. yeah, sure. I'll give you Zoroark for Sylveon, sure.
Yeah, man, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah, man, and of course you've won one more title. I think the previous season you won that one too, and hats off to you for that. So there's 2 3-time champions in the PLC, me being one, and then the only other one being Mr. Dark Horse here.
Yep.
But Zach, since you came into the league, you've become a real leader as far as administrative things and as far as competitively speaking. What do you do on the back end, kind of like to support the league?
So a lot of people know by now, like when we come up with these draft lists, like I'm actually the one that like. I mean, don't be wrong. Like, I get insight from like people, you know, in the and behind the scenes, like the CEO and everything. But like, other than that, like, people really give me kind of like free reign to kind of like design the draft list like however I want. So, I mean, I feel like over the years we have made a really good balance of like making the season like where we introduce really strong Pokemon, but we don't throw all of our guns out on initial draft. We keep some things stored for later, and I feel like we've hit a good balance of where we want to get with that.
So basically, how we pretty much Zach would design a list, and it'll be an initial selection on that list. And halfway through the season, we have something that's called mid-season, where the players can pick from new reintroduced mons on the list that Zach will add later in the season, and those mons usually have higher power curve than the ones on the initial draft. So that's what he means by saving for later. So what goes into your decision as far as what goes on mid-season and what goes on the initial draft?
So okay, I'll just like use this this draft that we got coming up as an example. Like when we get a new gen, I like for most of the things that came initially in that gen, right? Like all of like the Gen 9 Pokemon. I like them being available because like, you know, when you hold stuff out for mid-season, oftentimes what happens is a lot of Pokemon that would get used initially don't end up actually seeing any play because there's so much other stuff available.
Yeah.
So I like to, when we get a new gen, I like to have everything that's new to play with, like out the gate. That way, everybody, you know, if they get like they played their game, you know, they got the new gen, they like really fell in love with a Pokemon like Clodsire or like, you know, like they like for Farigiraf or something, they really want to play with that, they can play with it. And you know, it's great when you have like the early season, right? Because like initially we like have the power level set pretty low, arguably, and you know, like everybody can kind of play with these Pokemon that are like less than desirable because like the playing field is level enough for them to actually compete, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool to see. I think those are like always like our best seasons where like we have like initially everything at a low power level where like everything can viably do something, you know? Like I would be really happy to see like a lot of like, you know, otherwise thinkers like Kanto Muck or like Sunflora or shit, like really like, you know, like dominate the field because it's, you know, it's a perfect environment for them to really shine and do something.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. So over the years, we've seen a lot of things come, and we try different things, and things don't work, and other things work really well. What is something that you can really point out that we've done a change that really worked for the?
So what was really cool was last season we tried something really dope, right? We have our mid-season wire, which is like where we get like a lot of like powerhouses, thrown in and like to breathe new life into the season, right? Get everybody excited and keep, interest in playing, keep playing and stuff. But we did something a little different last season where we had 2 mid-season injections, like separate mid-seasons, where like first mid-season it was like we threw out some Pokemon, and these weren't like crazy good Pokemon, but just like enough to like spice some things up, right?
Yeah.
And the second one had like even more powerful stuff. So it's like it was kind of like it felt good, right? It felt like a good balance. One thing that I've always like disliked about some seasons where it was like we start off with that low power curve, right? And then mid-season hits and like the power curve just gets entirely obliterated, right? Like everything is OP. And like I kind of like keeping that good balance going, the whole way through. So that's one thing I definitely want to work on in future seasons, where we kind of keep the power level not drastically overpowered, mid-season, but just enough to spice stuff up.
Okay. And also going along with that, what is one of the things that you think is going to be most challenging going forward in the foreseeable future about how we run our things in the league?
One problem we have actually run into, and like it ended up working itself out through reasons here and there, but one thing we did have an issue with was like, I mean, obviously with Dexit now that we have to consider in future gens, like there's just not enough Pokemon to go around.
Yeah.
Because of that, like, we would have initially a lot of people interested to sign up and play, and we don't have enough Pokemon to evenly distribute for everyone that has a team. Like even this draft we got right now, I mean, everybody, we're going from what we used to have a draft list and we could draft a team of 12 Pokemon, and now we're going down to 11.
Yeah.
I mean, we could arguably fit 12 Pokemon on every team right now, but if we did, we wouldn't really have a wire. So
yeah,
kind of things that we have to consider in the future and stuff. And so like we had like a lot of ideas of how we wanted to tackle it, possibly doing 2 individual like conferences where we use the same draft list but operate separately from each other, and until the playoffs in the middle. That was an idea we had. But it's tough. It's tough. Dexit has really like made like our draft list decision making a lot stricter, especially like this season, right? Where I don't know if a lot of people really think about this, but like this list in general, like we didn't get that many weather setters. Like, we got Pelipper for rain, that's it, no Politoed. We got Torkoal for sun, that's it, no Ninetales. Like we had to get really creative. Like so like on the list, like I ended up putting up Eviolite Hippopotas and Eviolite Snover as like options that have more weather. Just have more archetypes to build around. But it gets tough. You got to get creative, and that's just what we got to rock with.
And that's one of the things that I really like about our specific meta that we created in our league is that it's not like traditional laddering. So you don't got to see OP Pokemon every time you match up. So you got a set amount of tools to work with, and so does your opponent. So while usually something like a Snover will be absolutely useless,
right
here is viable. So you can actually put in and work with it. Yeah. All right, just moving right along here. So tell me, what are some of your favorite moments in the PLC that you can remember? I know we had quite a few. We've been here for 8 seasons. This is our 8th season here.
Yeah.
So what's been almost 10 years, man? It's crazy. But definitely, what stands out is one of your top moments here at the PLC?
Man, so like a lot of the fun in the seasons hasn't necessarily even been always about the battles, but like the community that we fostered, right? Like, like how many memes have we had?
We had so many meme wars, dude.
Like I remember what was it, the memes I made about Mike last season. You know, where he was like,
Yeah.
where it was like, all right, yo, I'm about to get into this battle, about to record it, right? No, I ain't sharing that shit. Fuck that. Yo, you were geeking, but you know, that's what's great about our league, right? It's not just a league of players and we just play and like that's it, right? Like anybody could just kick up showdown or something and play against each other, and like that's all that would matter. But like the draw of like our league is like the community behind it. We're all like bros, we're all like friends. We all joke around and you know like have a great time, you know, and that's what keeps it entertaining, you know. But I would have to say my favorite moments would probably be my matches, you know, with Mike. You know, he was always to me, he was my like top rival, right? Because like I came into the season, nobody knew me. Mike was my first opponent, and immediately I was like, all right, I gotta come up with a strategy. I came up with that Mudsdale with the Z fighting move. I was like, yo, you know, like, and like that was like what I rocked with, you know. And so me and Mike, I would always like,
man, I always had the dopest matches.
Yup.
I always had the dopest matches.
Yup. When me and Mike played, or when me and you played, I would always like try to think like outside the box, like how am I gonna beat this oppressive team, right? I think like versus you, like one season, like you had like double weather, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna bring Stealth Rock so that he can keep switching in his weather, and like that, or like ended up saving my ass. Or it was like I think the first time I beat you, right? A lot of people know you for always having torque hole, and I was like, all right, I gotta beat this torque hole. What do I have that can beat this torque hole? I had to think outside the box. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna bring Miss Magius with Z Rockium to
dude. Oh, I remember that.
It was sick. I was just like, no, power trim, let's go.
Like, who thinks of this? Like,
right. That's like the beauty of the league. It's like you get to see who you're playing against. You get to like really think outside the box of these strategies of like what you can do to like really fuck around with shit. Like I think one of my most funnest Pokemon I got to play with one season was Mew. Yeah, man. I really got creative with Mew, yo. Like I had a Arcanine and Mew one time, and I used beat up with Mew onto this Arcanine, so it went up to +6 in one turn, right? Which is already scary because it's like D-Max Arcanine at +6, Wrecking Phase. Next turn, Mew transforms into the Arcanine, so I got 2 +6 Arcanines off the gate. Extreme speed.
Yo,
it was sick.
I was crazy. Yeah, you put out some dope plays, man. So I'm gonna tell you some of the things I remember, man. Some of my favorite moments is it's some very heated rivalries here in PLC, but there's certain people that it's just always a dogfight when they meet up.
Yeah, you and Brian, and
me and Brian.
Brian is the erase.
No, I don't think I've ever beaten Brian.
Nah,
I think since he came here, I don't think I have.
He is the erase slayer.
I can't beat him. I don't know why.
That fake out, no heavily, man.
And I got him season 1 this year, so I already chalked that L up. I'll go ahead and take the L. So I can go ahead and start prepping for my next guy. But yeah, the rivalries, man. I remember it was a season where you guys probably won't know Will, but inside joke. Will and Ian used to always get into it for political reasons outside of playing. So it would always be like this type of energy when they played each other. And I remember going into the season, they was having a meme war, and Will had dropped the true bitch garbage meme on Ian.
Yeah,
funny. Oh my god.
It was like, yeah, all my team has finally come together. He posted a picture of the trash can.
But those matches used to always be good because, like, I'm be honest, Will was like perpetually bad. He was the typical bad player in a league. Like,
right,
it's always like that trash team in whatever league, and that was Will. But Will would always come to play when he played in.
You would always have heart. You would always try, and you could see him slowly get better.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better. But what I was talking about, like, was the sheer competitiveness whenever he played against Ian. Like he would beat Ian, and
he would
Ian is
always,
a top player.
yeah,
Ian
he
is
would
a top player
always
here.
go out of his way to beat Ian, like no matter what.
And he was so funny. So I used to love those matchups.
He might lose every other match, but he would definitely beat Ian.
He would definitely beat Ian, and it
that's
was
all he cared about.
It's so like that's what really makes it fun, like the competitiveness. But like I said before, we try to make a community that's kind of tight knit. Like everyone is friends. You can talk trash here and there, but everyone is friends, and we can have fun. You meet people, and then your play styles offset. We create rivalries, and that stuff just goes on for years. It's very satisfying. But that's pretty much my top moments here at PLC. But I think we've touched everything. Appreciate Zach for coming sliding by with us, talking about some things. We're definitely going to have him on again. There's some things I want to do. Talking to him about various mods and stuff like that, or strategies that he may have seen that I've seen, and we might discuss those. So definitely keep on the lookout for that. But besides that, you got anything else for us, Zach?
No, man. I think we touched on everything, man. I think that's great. If you would have to ask me, right, like what I've contributed to this, like league, good or bad, I feel like I am definitely like a cancer to this league. Like, like off the cuff, like I remember, what was it? My first season I came in here, and like Ian's like attempt to like make the list, right? He didn't want like any legendaries at first at all. He didn't want anything powerful at all.
Yeah.
Like, Excadrill was like a big like controversy to us. Like legendaries, he never liked any legendaries, no matter how bad they were, like Articuno and shit. He didn't want no legendaries. But like I slowly had to like whittle him down, right? And I think like my first like claim to fame was like I had to vote for Kyrium, campaign of like mid-season coming around, like yo everybody vote for Kyrium for mid-season, right? And everybody was on board of it, and we just like shared a whole bunch of memes like with like Kyrium's like face over like Trump or something. It was funny. Kyrium make the PLC great again. So
good times, man, good times.
And then Meme Crow, the Meme Crow Jordan made, where we made the mascot for a year, Meme Crow, which was like a really crude drawing of Murkrow that Jordan did. It was great. But I like to think that me being here, I've made the league a lot more exciting, a lot more fun.
Absolutely.
Really kind of fostered our family in a way, and
yeah.
I appreciate y'all for putting up with my bullshit as much as y'all have. Nobody else would, believe me.
Hey, absolutely, man. Look, man, we appreciate you being here, and we thank you for everything you've contributed. Thank you for stopping by to chat with me. Guys, shout out to Jada Homie again. That's Jordan Herrera again, if you guys haven't seen him from other shows. But thank you, Zach, man. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to be out. Check some of my next videos. We got some more stuff coming for y'all.